What's going on, guys? I'm Jay the Black. Salute to everyone that's tuning in. I want to talk about this Alec Baldwin situation. I haven't really spoken about it and make a video as of now about it, but a lot is coming out about what's really going on with this movie project. I've been researching a bunch of different things before I went live to record this. Apparently, this movie has been a disaster behind the scenes. It really has. And to me, it all starts with Alec Baldwin. It all starts with him. We all know what happened. He accidentally took the life of his female cinematographer and almost the director, because they were, I believe, going over I guess a scene or him practicing with the weapon, and then he accidentally discharges and there's a live round in it. But now they're trying to pin, instead of everything being on the guy that hired the armorer, because he hired this young girl, instead of him being held accountable for hiring this girl, they want to hold her accountable now. A 20-something-year-old ex-model who wanted to be an actress or director of cinematography, but is now an armorer on her second film, which she was actually, I believe she was really nervous about getting, right? Or at least her first film, because her father was an armorer, and that's how she got the gig. That's what happened. She got the gig based off of who her father was. And the fact that Alec Baldwin didn't want to pay a little bit more money to get a better option to be his armorer, which is why we are in this situation right here. But there's a lot going on behind the scenes with this film, man. Apparently, there are some issues going on set where camera crew workers walked off set to protest bad working conditions. They faced grueling hours, according to Ben Norton, and long commutes, lack of safety protocols, and there were 3 prop gun misfires. 3. So this was happening. So this ain't oh my God, this happened once. A lot of stuff has been going on behind the scenes of this film, but they're trying to make it seem like this was the only issue on set. No, there were a lot of issues on set. The people, you know what's funny? You got people like these bleeding heart liberals like Alec Baldwin. He's all about, controlling guns, and he's all about talking about his hate of Trump, right? But they treat the people around them the worst. Nobody treats people the worst than these Holly weirdos. These Holly weirdos treat their workers like crap. They treat anybody who isn't like them like crap, but they get on social media and virtue signal when they don't even believe half the stuff they say. So you've been having all these issues, especially with the prop guns. You mean to tell me that this was the only issue that you had with that? No, you had that recurring issue with this female, and you still allowed her to be the armorer for whatever reason Alec Baldwin had in his mind. Because she obviously wasn't qualified for the job. I'm not going to hire somebody to be the armorer on a film that requires weapons to be an inexperienced female, unless, again, Alec Baldwin hired her for other reasons. Because when you're doing films like this that can turn very dangerous very quickly, you need to hire experts. Alec Baldwin has the money. There's no excuse. It starts and ends with him. You know what's sad? I saw on social media, right, that the Twitter account of Brandon Lee, I believe he has a family member running it, because Brandon Lee was trending on Twitter because of what happened with him years ago. Rest in peace to Brandon Lee. That Twitter account put out a statement, and they were sending condolences to the cinematographer that lost her life, and they also said that these types of things shouldn't happen. Do you know that there were weirdos in the comment section of that tweet basically going at the Brandon Lee account for speaking out, because Alec Baldwin is so entrenched in the cesspool that is Hollyweird, and these Holly weirdos, these Twitter weirdos, that they went to attack the Twitter account of Brandon Lee's family Twitter account because they spoke out about it. That Twitter account was absolutely right. The family is right. These types of things should not be happening in 2021. It happened because you hired an inexperienced female because you wanted diversity. And the irony is that Alec Baldwin ended up taking the life of a woman. Let's get into this article. The rookie armorer in charge of weapons when Alec Baldwin accidentally took the life of his cinematographer on the set of his film Rust said on a recent podcast that the best part of her job was proving how safe the weapons were. Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, who's 24 and a former model, told the Voices of the West podcast last month about landing this pretty sweet gig with her first movie as head armorer in August. I think the best part about my job is just showing people who are normally kind of freaked out by the weapons how safe they can be and how they are not really problematic unless you put in the wrong hands. Well, honestly, sweetheart, you were the wrong hands that it will put into, because this all occurred because of your negligence. Your recurring negligence on the set. You weren't ready for that job. You got the job because of who your father was. She said her dad, well-known Hollywood armorer Thale Reed, gave her some direction growing up, and she figured out most of the job requirements on my own. You see this? Only a female will get away with this. Let a guy say, you know what? I don't know much about the job as being an armorer or whatever, or building, but I'll learn on the job. Then I get hired. That'll never happen. Well, unless you got family that are highly connected. She admitted that loading blanks is the scariest thing to me. The issue sitting behind the fatal accident in the New Mexico set of Baldwin's movie Rust, only her second head armorer job. She shouldn't have been hired. This starts and ends with Alec Baldwin. I don't care what nobody says. This starts and ends with him. This is his film. He should have hired somebody that was more capable of being the armorer, but he did not do that. Why'd you hire this young girl? Well, she's not young, she's 24, but inexperienced. She's young and experienced. Why would you hire somebody that's inexperienced for this job, Alec? Or you have the final say so. So people want to absolve him of any responsibility, or you hired an inexperienced person. So you are very much so responsible. Very much so responsible. This starts and ends with him. Whenever you are, when something is in your name, when you are the boss, you're the decision maker, even though you have other people working for you, or you may have some help in that particular project, you still have final say so. If you don't feel comfortable with this person being your armor, you could have gotten somebody else, but you were obviously very comfortable with this young lady. She told the podcast she had learned by herself how to make sure dummy rounds were in the right spots of any weapons being used. You have to look at the front of it and determine which one is the blank. If it's dummied up, then that's how I tell at least. Reed also recalled how she had previously been a model, but then wanted to be either an actress or a director of photography. The position held by Helena Hutchins, who is now passed, rest in peace to her, when she lost her life due to Alec Baldwin. She switched course to being an armor after she tried it with Dad one time and realized I had a natural knack for it, she said, calling it a pretty sweet gig. Every movie I'm learning new things. It's all very quick, she said, stressing that she is still learning. As the Post previously reported, Reed admitted that she was really nervous before her first job as head armorer on Nicolas Cage's The Old Way in August that she almost didn't take the job because I wasn't sure if I was ready. Well, you obviously weren't ready for this one. And this particular woman lost her life. Her family have lost someone. Now, I don't know how true this is, but there were posts on social media about how Helena had tweeted out how she was going to put out information about Hillary Clinton, and that her husband works for a law firm that actually represented the Clinton family, or the Clinton administration, or Clinton family, or the Clinton campaign. Excuse me, I don't say Clinton. The Clinton campaign. Trying to think of it as I go. And there was a tweet, I don't know how real it is, that's why I'm not going to put in this video, that she was going to out Hillary Clinton, and that she had information about Hillary Clinton. Then you see Alec Baldwin. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but just hear me out. Then you have Alec Baldwin hire this inexperienced armorer who had a bunch of misfires already on set. You had crew members that were threatening to quit. And then you have a situation where Alec Baldwin is practicing with the weapon while the director of photography, or the cinematographer, is standing right in front of him. And the director is standing behind her because he got hit too. And he just so happens to discharge. That is a coincidence, isn't it? Let me find out that she's actually a conservative, because she also was an investigative reporter, is what I read up on. So there could be some things going on here, but Alec Baldwin caught a body, man. And he needs to be held responsible because, again, he hired an inexperienced person to be his armorer, which is actually an important job. You don't want to just put anybody in that situation. But again, everybody's going to look at blaming this young girl, but this all could be by design. Somebody can be the fall person. I mean, nothing surprises me in Hollywood. Absolutely nothing. So let me know in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure you like this video and share it. Make sure you follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.